Most of the time, us wrestling fans live in our own little wrestling fan bubble. We talk about backstage heat, leaked storyline plans, and whether the AEW faction name Death Triangle is awesome or not. Like they're the most important stories in the world. To clear that last one up though, the answer is yes, it is an awesome name. But as we saw with WWE's continued relationship with Saudi Arabia in the immediate aftermath of that regime's murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi in late 2018, sometimes our little wrestling world bubble has stories actually so serious, so representative of the worst parts of wrestling's carny roots, that they become mainstream news items. And true story, my dad texted me about it because he heard it on Sky News. And I'm pretty sure my dad still doesn't 100% know what I do for a living. The story in question is how Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's not the mayor of Florida like I said in yesterday's news like a goddamn imbecile, has deemed WWE an essential business, which means they can continue to run their operations during the state's stay-at-home order issued to limit the spread of Steve Corino, putting them in the same category as healthcare, grocery stores, and transportation. I don't know about you, but when I think essential businesses for society to function at its most minimal level, I think professional wrestling. It's a hugely significant story, acting as a lightning rod for the debate over what should and shouldn't be considered an essential business in these unprecedented times. And you know it's big when UK newspaper The Guardian, famed for its Edward Snowden and WikiLeaks stories, reports the WWE news with a cover picture of Jon Moxley from AEW. To answer the growing criticism, DeSantis defended his decision in a press conference. "We do need to support content, especially sports and events. We're not going to have crowds there, I get that. If NASCAR does a race and can televise it, I think that's a good thing. I'd like to see Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson golf. That's social distance. I think people are starved for content." But DeSantis' words are directly contradicted by local authorities, as the Orange County Sheriff repeatedly told WWE to close down last week. Spectrum News is reporting WWE were told multiple times to stop operations as they were not in compliance with the initial stay-at-home executive order. The sheriff again advised WWE to shut down on Monday for their live taping of Raw, but the executive order putting them on essential businesses overruled the sheriff's concerns. In what I'm sure is purely a coincidence, Linda McMahon, Vince's wife, and her pro-Trump super PAC, which is a political fundraising organization, not the Geordie wrestler, donated $18.5 million to the state of Florida on the same day Governor DeSantis categorized WWE as an essential business. Vince then resumed a full taping schedule, not a bulk tape in advance as had been planned, from the following day, which is reportedly so WWE doesn't violate their TV contracts, which only allow for a limited number of pre-taped shows a year, despite that live show schedule posing a significant risk to their employees and crew. Linda McMahon had previously headed up Trump's Small Business Administration until 2019, and was one of the single largest donors to Trump's initial 2016 campaign. And in another purely coincidental move, Donald Trump announced that the great Vince McMahon, that's an actual quote, will be part of a long list of people who will help decide when the US should reopen, alongside the heads of the NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, and NASCAR. I'm sure there's no agendas there. WWE might be terrible at long-term storyline booking, but it sure does look like they know how to play the political long game. Problem is, not that many people consider McMahon great after the last few weeks. Thanks for your support on Patreon. Don't have a Shane Cowley, man! In the face of growing uncertainty, Vince's restarted XFL laid off all its employees last week and then filed for bankruptcy over the weekend, effectively liquidating the company. It's arguably the right business move to prepare for a likely financial crash, streamline operations, cut down costs, and create as much cash to hand as possible. But it's a decision that's cost McMahon his business reputation in the short term. According to Dave Meltzer, people in the New York stock market feel Vince ended up screwing people he went into business with for the XFL, including coaches and stadiums. It was widely known that McMahon was set to invest $300 million over several years in the relaunch, which is likely a big reason so many people got on board with him. But he's pulled the plug before spending that amount, while leaving more than $14 million in debt to its 25 largest unsecured creditors. It all seemingly comes down to TV deals, which have become McMahon's single largest source of revenue, and what his business operations appear to base their entire models on. The first season of the XFL was given to networks for free, with the idea they'd pay for them in later years, and WWE's deals with Fox and USA Network are supposedly why Vince is endangering his staff with a full taping schedule. But all that won't count for much when you can't deliver the main thing all the networks want: ratings. Monday's live episode of Raw, the same one the Orange County Sheriff tried to shut down, drew a disastrously low 1.9 million viewers, losing 200,000 viewers from last week to make it one of WWE's lowest rated TV episodes of all time. That was sure worth everyone risking their health to make sure it was live. But Vince isn't all bad. He's finally realized he's got one of the best wrestlers in the world on his roster, and it only took him 4 years. When Asuka was called up to the main roster following her NXT undefeated streak in 2017, where she left NXT still as its champion, many fans expected her to become one of the women's division's top stars. The days when we were all excited about NXT call-ups. While she did continue her undefeated streak for 6 months, even winning the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, Asuka's push was derailed by losing to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Asuka quickly became an afterthought on the main roster, most recently being thrown together in the Kabuki Warriors tag team with Paige here, because her and Kairi Sane are Japanese, I guess, and she's just been used to put over Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, rather than getting any sustained push herself. But that might be about to change. Since WWE moved to the Performance Center, Asuka has been getting more and more screen time, getting victories in long TV matches, and WrestleTalk.com's Louis Danger can exclusively reveal why. We do exclusives now, don't you know? Vince McMahon has been very impressed with Asuka in recent weeks, and a big push for her is planned in the near future, with our sources noting Vince and other WWE higher-ups see her as incredibly reliable during these challenging times. Her Kabuki Warriors tag team partner Kairi Sane is rumored to be leaving WWE when her contract expires soon, but this won't affect WWE's plans for Asuka. But what is going to happen over in AEW? Technically, all wrestling promotions are now considered essential businesses. It's just WWE are the only ones choosing to run. MLW told Post Wrestling they will not be running shows despite legally being able to, with Booker Court Bauer explaining, "No, I will not put my athletes, crew and staff, along with their families, at risk of contracting the virus." AEW are also technically able to run shows, but they shut down operations as of 2 Thursdays ago when Georgia officials put that state's stay-at-home order in place. Instead, AEW recorded 2 months worth of content in advance, which some of the company's top stars were unable to make. Wrestling Inc. have reported these include the Young Bucks, Tag Team Champion Hangman Page, Women's Champion Nyla Rose, Pac, Lucha Bros and Big Swole, who now won't be on TV until late May. And MJF cryptically tweeted, "I wish I could put my body on the line more for you guys. I truly care so much about you being entertained during your hour of need. Unfortunately, something awful has happened to me and it has gradually gotten worse. I can't comment on what the issue is at this time." Hopefully MJF is okay. He's known for never breaking character though, so this could be a work Odd time to do her work, though. While Vince McMahon is worried that USA Network and Fox will use the tape shows as a way to get out of their expensive contracts, Dave Meltzer has revealed AEW's network, TNT, are actually fine with how things are being done. I mean, they did name a championship after them recently, I'm sure they're loving it. But AEW run out of content at their next pay-per-view Double or Nothing 2, aka Quadruple or Nothing Quick Maths, originally scheduled for May 23rd. AEW have now announced the show won't be happening in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, with it instead airing on pay-per-view from an empty arena the week after, most likely the same gym they've been taping Dynamite TV shows. Fans who purchase tickets for the event can either get a refund or hold on to their tickets for admission to next year's Double or Nothing, now on May 29th, 2021. So I guess that's confirmation that Double or Nothing 3 will happen at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on May 29th, 2021. But there are a few things in life that are apocalypse-proof. Cockroaches, Twinkies, and Adam Blompier's wrestling game show Quizzlemania on Parts Unknown. The third episode will be live streamed today at 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. EST, and 9 p.m. BST. With me trying not to come last, Laurie Blake's debut on the show, reigning champion Andy Datson, and our very special guest Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret. It sees the greatest streak in wrestling, Andy winning every episode so far, put something on the line. Because if Andy doesn't win Quizzlemania 3, he'll have to shave his hair. Set your reminder for today's live stream by clicking the video on the right, and watch mine and Luke's WrestleTalk podcast review of this week's Raw by clicking the video below that. And make WrestleTalk.com your homepage to keep up to date with wrestling news as it happens. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.